Hi everyone, I'm Juliane Nowe, and you're listening to the LadyNowe Show, where I feature conscious conversations about health, life, love, cannabis, yoga, spirituality, women's empowerment, and so much more. I believe a holistic life starts from the inside and is reflected like a movie projector out into your outside world. This is also a space where it's like having your best friend answer all your questions while sharing her best insights all in one. I'm so happy to have you here. And if you want more free content, mentoring options, or just to reach out and say hi, head to my website at ladynowe.com.
I'm so into chakras.
Yeah, me too. I did a meditation before I spoke with you this morning, so I'm very excited to see what's going to come out of it.
Oh, I love that. I was at my first ever called neurofeedback. So you basically get this thing like clipped on your ears and on like your head in different spots, and then it reads the frequency of your brain waves. And you have my earphones on, and it's like really relaxing, beautiful music. And then as it's going along, your brain is doing its thing. And then if you hear a glitch in the music, it means like your brain waves like were off. And then your brain knows how to naturally correct it. So then the music keeps going, and it's so interesting. Like I was just blown away. I've never done something like that before. And like very relaxing. I was like meditating. I was in and out of sleep almost for like a half hour. Yeah, it was really like blowing my mind how my brain just knows what to do. Like I didn't have to do anything. It just knows to self-correct itself because it wants to do the best that it possibly can do. Like what?
We don't give enough faith to our subconscious, and I think that's why you and I are drawn to each other, because you and I know the power of the subconscious.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, that's a huge key to my success, and I'm pretty sure it's a huge key to your success as well.
Definitely. And that was like probably why we're talking about this right off the bat, because I always loved in your Instagram how you have the hashtag consciousness. So like let's just start from there, talking about consciousness and the subconscious mind.
Yes. I mean, I feel the movement. I know it's not just me that's into this shit, and I'm glad that there's this community that I've been able to find that's like a sub-community within the cannabis community that's into this stuff, that's understanding like human experience and wanting to know all of it. You know, like it's taken me down this rabbit hole this year to places I never anticipated. Like I get into numerology a little bit as a teen when the internet first came out. I was like, oh, I want to know all about this stuff. But I didn't know, you know, the I guess I didn't have faith in it enough. And now I do. And so I'm just diving into everything. I'm open to everything. I know my mind is my most important muscle to be working. I mean, obviously aside from our hearts and stuff, but my mind is the hardest muscle to work. I've lost 100 pounds, and by far I would rather lose 100 pounds again than try and be happy every single day.
Oh my gosh.
I know, isn't that fucked up to say?
No, but
Sorry,
it's so
I didn't mean to say that.
true.
Yeah, isn't that so messed up? But I think that way. But everyone says like, oh, you know, if you must be so proud of yourself. Like if you must be you're so lucky. You're so happy every single day. People don't realize like that is the hardest job I have. Like more than mom, more than mommy Jane stuff. Like the hardest job that I have at this moment is trying to be positive, be forward focused every single day. And it's my survival mechanism. It really, really is. At this time last year, I was in the darkest place in my life. And from a girl that's grown up with so much trauma, like most of us in this industry, that's crazy for me to say that like I was in a dark place, because I feel like a lot of my life I was in a dark place. So I was really rock bottom last year, and I dove into my spirituality, and that's how I ended up finding it. And everybody says that, like usually when you get through your spiritual awakening, you have to hit your rock bottom, whatever rock bottom is to you. I can't tell you what that rock bottom is, but you'll know when you get there. You know?
Totally. So what was your rock bottom? Like, did you see it coming, or was it just like,
Oh, it
Whoa.
was an avalanche. My uncle was dying. Our family favorite, like our favorite guy. Everyone just he was a beloved family member, and he was dying of cancer in front of us rapidly. And it was just heartbreaking. He's very he used to process hash on my bed when I moved out in college. Like he took over my bed and was making hash on the bed, and that wax paper. I'd come home to visit for the holidays, and there'd be like just from harvest waiting for me, you know. And he would always give me cannabis for Christmas, cannabis for Thanksgiving. He was my cannabis godfather, you know what I mean? And I honestly feel like when he passed, he really catapulted my confidence, and I just dove into this industry. And I don't think there's a day that doesn't pass that he's not supporting me. I know he's there every single day. And I know that's a lot of the reason why I am doing so well is because I'm following his guidance. And he died at 4:20 on October 2nd.
Oh
same day as
my
Tom
God,
Petty.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah, I know. My whole family, we couldn't believe it. We put it on his death certificate and everything. So he meant a lot to me, obviously. He meant a lot to all of us. And my daughter was going to school at her father's, and I was 51 miles away. So that was the first time that I'd been without her for a school year. So obviously I was super depressed from that alone. I just moved away from my friend, and she just moved out of the country. Cannabis Health, Rachel, she had just moved out of the state. She moved across the country to North Carolina. So I just lost my Canamom friend. It was just like this slew of things. Northern California was on fire during the Sonoma fires. All the crops of all my friends' harvest. We thought my uncle's body was going to burn before we cremated it. Like, it was a bonanza. October of last year was a fucking bonanza. And to top it all off, in November, so in a couple of weeks will be the 1 year, my house caught fire in the middle of the night. And that same day, I lost my daughter for a couple hours after school. It was a big misunderstanding. Grandma didn't have her phone on her. My husband went to go pick her up. Grandma didn't realize that he was supposed to pick her up. So for a couple hours, we thought she was missing. We called the cops. I sent out Facebook reminders or like those flyers to everybody, like, this is my daughter, this is what she looks like, this is what she was wearing. And no parent ever wants to have to go through those motions for even just a second of their life, let alone 3 hours. And I was already so PTSD strung out from the fire, because being woken up in the middle of the night to sirens and water, and your house is flooded and there's smoke everywhere and your kids crying, it's just like, that's already such a traumatic experience. And then to top it all off, my daughter goes missing, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do with my life. Like, I sat in the shower, I had an out of body experience, and that's when I had my spiritual awakening. Because I told God or the universe, I said, if you're trying to kill me right now, take me now, because I can't handle anymore today. That's exactly what I said. And my body left out of the shower. There's only 2 times I felt my body leave me. And once was when I gave birth to my daughter the first time, because it's such a spiritual experience. If you guys are parents that are listening, you already know the pain and the sacrifice it is to become a mother, and the feeling that you get when the body comes out of your body. It's just unreal. I'm sorry to get emotional. It's such a cancer mood right now. I can feel all of it, like all the energy.
I feel you. It's all good. Let them.
Oh my God. So yeah, my out-of-body experiences was when I had her, and also when I lost her, when I thought I lost her. So I was sitting in that shower just trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life, with my house half burned and my daughter gone, and how was I going to explain it to my other daughter who was already traumatized from the fire that evening. So it was just, I was beside myself, and I found out the hard way that cannabis isn't replaceable in your insurance, and luckily other things are, and luckily our health was there, and it got me on this big crusade of what I wanted out of life. I remember my girlfriend asking me after everything happened, she goes, "What's the message you're getting from this, Jessica? Because you weren't happy about your daughter being gone. You weren't happy about a lot of things in your life. So this fire was obviously caused. This whole situation was caused for a reason. Her going missing and all that stuff. So what are you going to do with it?" So it really, when she said that to me, I was just like, oh my God, I'm changing my whole life. I'm changing everything. And that was it. Like, I just found myself through, like I said, spiritual awakening and getting self-help books like crazy, listening to all the business books like Think and Grow Rich and Earl Nightingale stuff and Gabby Bernstein. I mean, everybody I could think of. I was diving into every self-help and business book I could think of. And everybody thinks that I'm this overnight success in the industry, and it absolutely isn't. I've read over 50 books this year, audio, but still, I mean, I'm still comprehending all of that knowledge. And if they think for 1 second that I'm not spending every hour every day trying to learn something for them, then then they don't know me very well, you know, and they need to get to know me because I am ready to set this industry on fire in a good way. You know, we need more confidence in ourselves. We need more confidence in the plant. We need more confidence in just everything. We need more faith in ourselves. I see a huge need for that in this industry and outside this industry, but I want to focus on inside this industry. I want to give the love to the people in this industry because everybody else can find their self-love in another way, but people really, really need to stay focused and keep their eyes on the prize because this industry can definitely kick you down at times, and the people outside of it will definitely try and kick you down at times too. So double consciousness, right?
Yes.
Always staying balanced, always staying faithful in yourself, and always trying to keep positive. This is why I strive so hard every day for it, because I was in such a dark place, not knowing where my future was going to take me for quite some time, and I didn't care. Now I don't care. Now my uncertainty is bliss. Now my uncertainty is let's go. Now my uncertainty is okay, I'm ready to wake up today. I used to wake up every day just fearing everything, and now I fear nothing, and I just want to love it all. I touch my rug with my toes going, doesn't this tickle? Doesn't this feel so good? And this cold granite, it just feels so nice, and I love the way I can open this door, and I am just like, I love life more than I even express on Instagram. It is like embarrassing. That's why I keep it to myself. Yeah, I keep it to myself, but I am like blissed out constantly, and it's not just cannabis. It's meditation. It's self-love practice. It's taking time out, even if you really have shit to do. You just got to listen to your higher self and believing in that little voice, because anytime we try and sway and stray away from that voice is when we fall off the rails. And I know it too. I'm guilty of it. I mean, we still are. I told somebody today on my Instagram, it is a daily practice. It's not something I just woke up one day and was like, oh my God, your consciousness is so high right now. You're vibing high and you're healthy. Your weight's like regulated. Like, no fucking way. I did everything on the planet. I did Beachbody. I don't know if you guys are familiar in Canada what Beachbody is, but it was this whole phenomenon. I did all that. I did those ultrasounds to try and get rid of my weight. And the only time that I was able to actually really lose the weight is using cannabis and using consciousness. And once I applied those two and they synchronized in the most harmonious way, that's how I found my balance. And that's where I'm at today.
Incredible. What did your husband think all this year and before that? Just like all this transformation.
He thought I was losing my mind. You know this because anybody that's ever gone through a spiritual awakening knows that their loved ones think they're going through a crisis. They think they're losing their freaking mind. I've lost so many friends, so many family members, not just from cannabis, but from consciousness alone. Like, people aren't ready to be woke. But my husband's funny because he's the one that got me on this train. He was meditating for years because he's super into like David Lynch, and David Lynch is really into transcendental meditation and all that stuff. So he was meditating and like telling me, Jessica, you need to meditate. You need to slow your thoughts. You need to slow down. You'll be less depressed. You'll be less anxious. And I really just needed to stop drinking alcohol and start working out and eating right. But obviously the meditation needed to come in at my own time. I can't tell people what to do. All I can do with my knowledge is let it out there, and people can take what they want of it. That's why there's no reason to get offended. You don't have to listen to everything I say. Cherry pick it all. Find out what's going to serve you and do it. Like, just like with cannabis, you don't have to dab if you don't want to. You don't have to do flower if you don't want to. That's the great thing about this industry. You can take capsules and tinctures and topicals. It's just about incorporating wellness into your life in the way that suits you, the way that's going to serve your highest self. And that's where I stand with my page and with what I want to accomplish in the industry is just keep people with their faith. That's my goal.
Totally. That's what I feel like, part of the reason why I created LadyNowe as well about a year ago. So it's funny, we're both having like mini anniversaries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Because it is not just one thing. And that's what I find people get caught up in. It's like, well, what was the one thing that person did because I want to be like that person or feel the way they feel? But it's like, it's everything. It's like the food, it's the cannabis, it's the consciousness, it's the conversation you have, it's what you do with your time, it's what you know, what you want to know. Like, it's about everything that comes together. That exactly what you said is a constant practice all the time. And when you find what works for you, that's really just the answer. Is just you're trying to find what feels good. And I feel like there's all this hype around like, this is the one answer, or not feeling good is almost more hyped up than finding what feels good. So it's really just like a huge shift in the world in general.
I agree. And I'm so proud of Canada for taking that huge leap forward and becoming legalized as a country and showing the faith in the plant and showing the faith in the wellness of it. You know, there's just so much, there's just not enough evidence out there. But the evidence that's there is proven, and people need to recognize that, and people need to accept that. And yay, Canada, for acknowledging that. And hey, we're going to have our problems with legalization just as everybody else does. And it's just about thinking positive. Everybody's going to want to nitpick at it and go, oh, but they've run out of cannabis, but they weren't prepared. Listen, let's look at the step that it is and what it is, because that's a huge step to legalize an entire country. We can't even do states right, and they're doing an entire country. So hurrah for Canada right there. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. Like, there's so many people still like complaining, and it's like, really, it's just like anything in life. You just have to start.
Yes.
Like, you just have to start.
Job. Yeah, no one's great. I was a terrible server when I first started, I'm sure. I mean, or maybe I wasn't. I don't know. But everyone's got to start somewhere. Everyone's got to start somewhere in life. And I remember even just learning about cannabis. Remember the first things you knew, you're like, holy shit, there's a difference between two different cannabis plants. Like there's an indica, there's a sativa, all that kind of stuff. Like just knowing that, you know, it blew my mind. Obviously, we're starting to demystify that, but it's just when we start finding those little blurbs out, even in the beginning, was so thrilling and so exciting that I can only imagine where, you know, Canada is going to be in just a couple of years for more people finding out, you know, the truth about it too. So I'm just really grateful.
So what were you doing before, like work-wise, life-wise, like just kind of painting a picture for anyone that is following you or hasn't, like just to be more on that journey with you of a year or more ago, what you were doing before to what it looks like now, painting that picture?
This is a great question, actually. But before I was a stay-at-home mom, because I've been a stay-at-home mom for about 5 years now. But before I was a stay-at-home mom, I was an event planner, and I loved it. I loved being a part of everyone's important moments in life. I loved doing Make-A-Wish Foundation. I loved working with the kids. I loved the celebrities that they chose. It was just a magnificent job. It was really an honor to be an event planner. And if you can handle it, I suggest it for everybody once in their life to just try something of that sort of thing, because it also enables you to get things done later on in life. So I'm room mom now. I'm taking those skill sets, you know, with me even in the cannabis industry. It's so true though, because you have to really be under fire and understand pressure if you can handle events and all that stuff. So that's why I think I don't break sometimes. Like I'm just ferocious and I just keep on going in the industry, because I'm like, I've had this for years being an event planner. I'm used to shit falling apart. Oh my God. I remember being on vacation and actor Jason Lee calling me and tearing me a new one. And I used to love him. I'm like, I loved you in Mallrats. And what is happening right now? Like, no. So it's so funny because you learn about yourself through those jobs, you know, those really like painstaking, high profile jobs. You're just like, but it's great because now I know I can handle anything. That's why I don't give a shit. And that's why I think I'm, you know, doing so fine in this industry, is the fact that like things come at me, but it's just like playing video games. You play video games most of us our lives. Like use your shield, take your freaking sword and just start protecting and deflecting. You can get through anything. We can survive. We're survivors. We're alien survivors. That's the way I see it.
Totally. I feel like everyone is so scared to just share their actual story. And it's like, but it's perfect just the way that it is. Like everyone has survived something, whether it's humongous or not. Like even just like having your heart broken, like from a relationship, people are like try to downplay it because it's like, well, it's not the same as this and that. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's not. Like maybe you might not go up to that person who has had more trauma and more of a traumatic experience than that and try to be like, oh, this is such a big deal. Like maybe you wouldn't say it to them in that way, but it's okay to share your story and own it and speak from experience, because you're going to find the people that resonate with you and want someone that's a little bit further ahead. And I think that's the other thing is people look at people on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, and they think, oh, these people must know so much. And really, it's like they probably only know just a tiny bit more than you do. And there's people who know a tiny bit more than they do. So it's not like these big oracles like people think that they're looking up to. And really, it's like you need to take, yes, the information they're giving you because you're learning, but we're all students and we're all teachers. So as you're learning, then you can teach what you're learning because you're going to be one step ahead of that person. And that's just how it keeps going.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing I definitely want to mention, because you said something in the beginning about trauma. What people need to realize, those of you that are listening right now, everyone experiences trauma.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's all the same. It evens. The earth needs to stay balanced. It finds a way to balance it out. So if you think you're meeting, Gigi, and she has this great life, and you're like, oh my God, I want the life that Gigi has. You don't know what the hell Gigi's been through for 25 years prior to this. Maybe her life's good now, but she probably earned that good life. So let's just back off on everybody and understand that if they're going through something, they're going through something. We just need to respect it. That's it. It just goes back to respect. That's all.
Yep, I totally agree with that. And my partner says that like off and on because, well, he's, a vet and has PTSD and has done lots of work with that. And he finds, even some of the veterans, like some of them are almost ashamed to say they have PTSD because it could have been like Fabian's done 6 tours and then someone else is like, well, I never actually shot a gun, but I have PTSD, but they feel like they can't talk about it because they never had a gun or something. And it's like, yeah, but you were still there and you've seen a lot of shit. Like, so people are so scared to talk about their trauma, thinking that it doesn't compare to someone else's. But he'll be one of the first people to say trauma is trauma, whether it's someone did something to you or you seen something or you were a vet or not. Like, it doesn't matter. It's the brain responding to the event and then the protection and everything that comes afterwards. So definitely everyone has trauma in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I love that he acknowledges that even as a vet. That's so incredible. Because I know everybody likes to play the game that's like the mightier than thou, like, oh, but you don't know what I've gone through. But I'm like on the opposite end, and I'm like I'm already believing people have worst case scenario. I'm like, all right, you're probably if you're in the cannabis, you've been through some shit, obviously, So I just give that benefit of the doubt to everybody at that point, and I wish people would do the same. And maybe after listening to this, they'll get a little tap on the shoulder and carry on their ways as such. Not
for sure.
Their lives.
So now that you are in the space for a good chunk of time and you're doing all that you're doing, what are some awesome, exciting moments in the last year that something like happened, say in the industry or business wise, or you connected with someone and you're just like, yes, this just keeps reaffirming why I'm doing what I'm doing?
Oh my gosh. There's a lot of serendipitous moments with me in this industry, but the thing is that I'm looking for those too. I'm looking for those signs to make sure that I'm in the right space, in the right place, and dealing with the right people, because we can get really wrapped up in the wrong hands sometimes. But I think big pinnacle moment for me, the first time getting invited to a pink haze sesh was really big for me. Going to the Soden House was big. Going to Women of Weed, the Women of Weed event for High Times. That was like, I cried. I called my mom and I was like, you have no idea what I'm just got invited to. And I was just so excited, because just being around those other women that I've read about or follow or any of that is just so inspiring and so exciting. And I was just really, really honored to be in that space and just even considered to be thought of to be even in that room. So really, really grateful for that. And honestly, doing podcasts like this are really humbling, because this is forever. This is it. Once it's in there and it's in this space, like, this is a big, big deal for me. So having my microphone played out there, I have 2 big things I would love to talk about that are coming up at the end of the year that I can't really say, but one's a collaboration, and having my name and my logo on something is going to be life-changing. That's huge. Like, having my logo come to fruition with my husband, like, we spent one evening and I was like, I want this heart inside of a cannabis leaf, and he started playing around with it, and oh my God, we were sitting there like vaping and just going crazy. It was so cute. So I'm really grateful that we collaborated on that, because it makes me love the logo even more, and just knowing that people are going to benefit from our collaborations is just phenomenal to me. So there's an opportunity perhaps for me to have a megaphone of some sort. So I don't want to say anything too soon, but it would be nice to have moments like this again where I get a chance to tell people you can rise up from the ashes of life. You can definitely overcome adversity. If you can, I mean, I've lost 100 pounds, which I never thought was possible. I used to read those magazine sensational stories on like people think, how the hell do these people lose 80 pounds? Like, that's crazy. That's like a person. And here I am, and I've done it. I'm living it, and it's fine. You can totally do it. You can be a phenomenal mother. You can be a phenomenal wife. I mean, I couldn't be more happy with my relationship right now, with my family life, and I know that all of this is by design. So if you feel like you're lacking in thereof, and somewhere in your department's lacking, your relationship's lacking, your family life's lacking, it's up to you to change that. It's up to nobody else. It's not about your past. It's not about your ancestors. It's about you designing your life, breaking and rewiring, and becoming the best version of yourself, because you only have this life in this body. Enjoy it.
Oh, I love that. And I love how it's like it all happens so organically after the ball started rolling. Like, I found cannabis and this, and then I lost weight, and then blah, blah, blah. Like, it just was like a snowball, it sounds like.
It was. I told you it was an avalanche of effects. That's why I feel like I know this industry is meant for me, because all signs point to yes. There hasn't been a sign where there's never been a day that I've woken up where I'm like, oh, should I be doing this? There's definitely times where I'm like, I am so fucking tired and I don't want to put my face on the screen and talk about my life right now, and I just want to disappear into my bed. But I just do it, and I keep doing it every single day because it's exhilarating and the industry is always entertaining. I mean, sometimes it's fun and sometimes it's funky, and whatever. I'm going with it every single day and enjoying the ride, and I'm just grateful to be alive. I wake up every day going, okay, what more can I do? What's next? What else can I do in this industry? Who else can I help? So it's really, really exciting to have that life purpose and have it just pumped into me every single day with this place.
Wow. So what are some things you do daily, let's say, that kind of keeps you in alignment? And then maybe some tips of things that you do when you're like, holy crap, I'm super out of alignment. How do I get back?
Okay, some of the things that I do daily, for instance, I don't check my whatever, Instagram. The thing is, I got rid of Facebook. Can I tell you guys that right now? The number one thing I ever did with my life last year, not just eating organically and well, but getting off of Facebook. I got off of
Facebook 2 years ago too, and I'm like, I don't ever want to go back.
Yes, you guys, that's tip number one from Juliane and I. We are giving you the number one tip to getting your life. Get off Facebook. So anyway, don't check my Instagram instantly. I do a gratitude. Those of you that follow me know this. I have a friend on the East Coast that I call. It does not have to be on a different time zone. You can literally do this to whomever. But I just happen to choose this person because she's the one that brought the idea to my attention. So it is what it is. So pick whomever and give a little voicemail. Sometimes our voicemails are 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Sometimes our voicemails are 5 minutes. We do a little recorded voicemail. Everybody has that little app on their phone, and we send it off to each other. And I wake up every morning and I'll say something like, oh my God, I am so grateful that I have coffee this morning, and I'm so grateful for the solitude that I have. And I'm grateful that yesterday's meeting went well. And I'm so grateful that my kids ate their vegetables at dinner last night. And, just whatever you want to say, you can just go crazy. And sometimes we talk about, hey, great job yesterday. I saw you doing this, and I'm so proud of you. And all we are doing in this voicemail is speaking positively, acting gratefully, and that is it. And then we get off the phone, and then we go about our day. And sometimes we talk on the phone ourselves, but even if we don't talk to each other that day, we still get that voicemail first thing in the morning. That gets me going. I drink a cup of water. I unfortunately love coffee, and I drink coffee, but my next step is going vegan and getting rid of coffee. That's how I want to level up even more with my life. But hey, in due time. So right now I still drink coffee and meditate. Even if it's just 10 minutes. Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 30. But if you guys just start with 10, it's an easy 10 minutes. Everybody has 10 minutes. And I meditate and I think about my intentions for today. And sometimes in that voicemail, I'll say that too. My intentions for today is to focus on DMs. My intentions for today is to have a rockin' live with so-and-so or whatever it is. And set your intentions for whatever it is you want to accomplish today. I want to get my laundry done. I want to donate something, whatever it is that you're thinking of. Make sure you set that intention. And I keep a list beside me. And it's a list that says morning, afternoon, night. And I write down tasks of what I want to accomplish in those time zones. So it's kind of like time blocking, but it's not in a serious way you're feeling the pressure. It's more like a list. So you just check things off your list. If things don't get off the list, I put it to the next day. I'm not one of those people that freak out over that kind of stuff. I prioritize. I get what needs to be done today, and anything that I'm like, okay, this shit can wait till tomorrow. I just move it to the next side. So that's how I start my morning. I obviously medicate with CBD first thing in the morning, and then I don't smoke cannabis until at least an hour or two before I've gotten awake. And it'll depend on the day. Sometimes I'll go to an event and I'm like still a little stony from the night before, and I'm like, woo, I need a couple hours before I even medicate. I'm good. But sometimes I'm like so strung out, and I'm like, okay, I need my CBD. I need a little bit of THC, and I'm a microdoser. I'm not a big bong person. I'm not a dab person. I have a high tolerance for edibles, but when it comes to flower and vaping, I'm like 1, 2, done. Get out of here. So.
And I'm the opposite. I have a high tolerance for smoking and fairly getting higher for dabs, but me with edibles, oh my God, I'm like I just am stuck in the corner, like I can't move my body.
Oh my gosh, so I will be sure to never have edibles with you. I want to have a good time when we're together.
Yeah, you can have edibles and I'll like smoke.
Yes, perfect. We'll be on the same level. Oh my gosh. But that makes a difference too, you guys. On my consciousness too, I am very aware of what my tolerance is. I'm very aware of what works for me. I wait hours and hours before I drive before my kids, and just to be sure, an hour before I pick them up, I do CBD on top of the duration of time in between. So I like double check it all. So because I'm not an experienced driver. I've only had my license 4 years. So I'm just very conscious of not medicating and driving. Even if I go to events, my friends know it. They're like, oh, I hate it when you drive to events. You never want to medicate. But it's just, that's just me. It's just how I am. I have to be so aware because I want to be a good driver. I want to set a good example for my girls. If they see me getting a DUI, God, what the heck, what kind of example am I setting for them? If I'm doing organic eating, I'm doing my yoga, I'm doing my working out, and I don't work out every day anymore. I used to, but I do about every other day. So that's another side note about self-care is don't be hard on yourself if you miss something. We got to stop giving ourselves such a punishment and abuse. Start being lighter with our words to each other and ourselves. And if we miss something, if we eat pizza, who cares? Tomorrow, just don't eat fucking pizza. It's not that hard.
Yes.
You just need to find your balance and stop beating each other up and beating ourselves up. We have this need for abuse. We are gluttons for punishment. We love that self-sabotage, and we need to stop that talk. And my biggest self-care is talking to myself with positive affirmations. I listen to Louise Hayes. I listen to Jason Stevenson, whoever you can find on YouTube. Look them up. Look at positive affirmations. There's going to be all sorts of walks of life. You're going to find all nationalities on there and all age groups, and you're going to find the one that you need in that moment. Sometimes I need a little ass kicking, and they need that bass, so I get Jason Stevenson or like the power thoughts going. But if I want like a light hug and I want like a mom to talk to me, my mom's asleep because it's 4 a.m., I do Louise Hayes because she has that maternal voice and she's telling me that life is good and everything's great and we're so lucky because we are. When it comes down to it, like even having the ears to listen to this podcast is such a blessing.
Have you ever listened to Esther Hicks, her rampages?
Love her. I'm totally into her crazy shit too. I'm like obsessed with all the woo-woo. I'm all into the woo-woo.
I love the woo-woo.
Seriously, I'm like jealous. I'm like, when's Abraham gonna come out of me and start talking? Like,
oh my God,
I'm ready to receive.
I feel the same. I'm like, oh my God, like when is it gonna start channeling through to me? Like I'm pretty good with my intuition, and when people come to me with stuff, I can like feel it out, and I can like give them kind of like a reading in that way. But the way she just like start talking about whatever out of the blue because like the thing just enters her body and she's talking, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so incredible.
I know. I believe that's probably how Jesus got his prophecies.
Oh,
honestly,
totally.
Don't you think? Like, I'm like, Jesus is woke as fuck. The more I learn about the Bible, I'm like, oh my God, Jesus was like the first of all of us. He set the premise for everybody. And people like took his words and oh my God, have you heard about the book of Thomas? That's all in the Bible and was in the Bible, but they wrote it out like because it's all positive thinking and law of attraction and all this stuff. And obviously they're like, we can't be having people knowing about their subconscious and higher conscious. That's crazy. Let's just get rid of this. Because remember, they said that they edited the Bible to obviously pertain to like modern times, et cetera. But the Book of Thomas, you guys Google it. It'll blow your mind. It is not a conspiracy theory. This is a real person of Jesus that also was like super woke too. So interesting stuff.
I really like I started reading A Course in Miracles, which is like super huge and intense. So I only read a bit at a time. But Marianne Williamson, A Return to Love, that's kind of like the Cliff Notes version of A Course in Miracles.
Yes.
And that's exactly like what it's saying is like the stories in the Bible were so misinterpreted to be like in this negative, scary way. And it's like, that's not the message that they are trying to get across.
Mm-mm. They want us to have faith in ourselves. They want us to be able to know that we can do anything and move water. They want us to know that. They want us to know that humans are amazing.
I think we should start a podcast together that's just like, preach, ladies. Like,
just preach about everything.
Yeah, we just pick topics and we're like, yes, we're telling you today. We're so excited.
Let's get deep. Seriously, I love this generation. These millennials that everyone makes fun of. We are going to be such a woke generation, and our kids are going to be so incredible because of it. My daughter listens to Ghost of a Podcast with me. I love that she's getting into this kind of stuff, and even though she's just as confused as I am, we are like blindly going into this together and like asking questions to each other, and it's just phenomenal. I'm really, really grateful to have this human experience with her and with people like you, that I can connect with and know like, okay, no, we're doing this and it's right and it's okay. And we're finding our way. That's it. We're finding the whys. We're answering the whys.
So why did you get off Facebook? That's just me being curious.
Great question. Totally good question. You can be nosy. This is why we're doing it, right? Sorry, I had to drink some water. Okay. Why I got off Facebook. Listen, you might think there's people in your life that are supportive. You might think that there's people in your life that are watching you for the greater good. They're waiting for you to fall and fumble and say one wrong word. I'm experiencing that now on Instagram. I was experiencing it on Facebook, and I had to abandon ship because I'm talking about my own friends and family members when I say this kind of stuff. And when it comes to the cannabis industry and bettering your life, people don't want to hear about it. They don't want to know you lost 100 pounds. They don't want to know that you're happy because you're not drinking Merlot anymore. They don't want to know that you got off your SSRIs, because everybody is going to have their own fucking hang up and guilt and like worry like, oh, well, now I have to change my life, or I can't be supportive. We need to be supportive of the people that are doing better for their lives. We can't be hating on them because we're not doing it ourselves, because my dad told me this. I was overweight most of my life, and I remember coming back from Renaissance Fair, and I was crying. I was eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I was just like, I was on a French roll too. I was like this big chubby girl eating this big sandwich. Oh my God, I love it. And he comes up to me and he's like, listen, if there's something in your life that you don't like, you can change it. And I've literally listened to that piece of advice every day of my life. I lost weight when I was a teenager once. I lost weight when I was in my 20s once. And this is my third time losing weight, but this is obviously 100 pounds is a big deal. So I've yo-yoed up and down like Oprah my entire life. So I know what it's like to be very skinny. I know what it's like to be very big. And let me tell you, the worlds are very different. It's really, really unfortunate. And it sucks that we're a society that acts like they're not judging people. But, oh, yes, I was judged. Absolutely. And it makes me just have even more compassion for everybody and make sure that I use this industry for good and make sure that I build people up, because there is no reason why I should have ever felt that way. There's no reason why I should have ever allowed anybody to make me feel that way, because it was my choice to let them feel that way. So I made it my choice to never let that happen again. So now when people pick on me, whether it's my family members and they're bullying me off Facebook, or it's my friends, or it's strangers, because strangers sure as hell love to bully too. We get a freaking screen in front of ourselves and we feel like we are just, I don't know, who knows? We think we're on top of the world. But
that's basically the same reason me and my partner got off of Facebook, because people were just being mean and like saying things that weren't true or judging things. And it's like, what? You of all people know us. How can you say something like that about us? And it was just like attack, trolling, saying things they never actually would say to your face. Like, it was just awful. So yeah, we got off it. And now I found being on Instagram the last year that, like, so far so good, but I feel like it's less catty and less just like, here's a picture, here's my words, comment, like it kind of thing. And there's like more connection. Like it's less like, it's more focused on like the picture and what you're putting out in that connection instead of like, let me write 18 pages about this morning I got up and I did this and then I said this so and so and then I did that and you know who you are. And I'm like, what is your
that's another thing I didn't like. The passive aggressiveness on Facebook. It's like, Jesus, everyone calm down. It was just negative energy after negative energy and mixed politics into that. And you already know what we're dealing with over here. So it's just, oh God, you know. I don't know what to say because I don't want to entice anybody, but
we'll do let's say 2 more final questions. So one is, I know I'm curious to see like what's come or maybe what some ideas and things you'd like to manifest. Like, and these don't have to be things that are actually already happening, just things like in your heart that you want for you and your business. And also any like final words of wisdom or love, or info, or anything that you'd like to share.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Okay. First one's advice, right? What was it? The first one was the advice?
The first one was anything that you are looking to manifest or want to manifest for you and your business.
Okay, manifesting for myself and my business in the big picture of everything. This can even be later on in life. So I would love to get a trailer of some sort, like a funky old Airstream or whatever. And I want to travel across the country, and it doesn't just have to be the legal states, but I want to educate. I want to do speaking engagements. I want to do lots of speaking engagements. I want to meet people. I want to talk to patients. Ideally, I'd love a television show to showcase the patients and showcase the producers of cannabis and why they produce it, and maybe even connect the theme of the day, like have the patient meet the producer, et cetera. So just kind of really show the face of cannabis in a better light, because I feel like a lot of, at least in America, a lot of our shows are in clown suits. And I don't know why they're keeping cannabis in clown suits over here. It's really embarrassing. And I know we can do better. And I've done enough television to know that we can do better. And if it's not me, then please let it be somebody else, because it just needs to be done. I'm on volunteering only because of the fact that I just love hearing these stories every single day, and it gives me freaking life. But if someone else wants to produce it and find another candidate, then please just make it happen, because we need to shed a better light on the patients. We need to shed a better light on the producers of cannabis, how it's done, and how beautiful these dispensaries are, and how magnificent life can be if we just give cannabis a chance.
Amen.
And things that I'm actually manifesting are happening right now. I really wanted to make products. I really wanted to make CBD-based products because I want it to be nationwide. I definitely want to find more herbal remedies for people that don't live in legal states. I have a lot of followers that aren't in legal states, so I want to take care of them as well, because we can't all access cannabis and as much as I wish, and I hope, and I know it's going to happen one day. At the moment, I can do what I can in the meantime to help that. So next year, Sharon Letts and I are looking into creating a retreat. It will be the Mommy and Jane retreat. It'll be super fun, very educational. We're going to be making our own products during this retreat and stuff, so people will take stuff home with them when they leave.
Wow, that's so exciting.
Yeah, that was Sharon's idea. I can't take credit for that one, but she's like, I need to do a retreat with you, and people are crazy because they haven't yet. And I was like, perfect. So she had the name, she had everything, all in her mind. We've been brainstorming in Palm Springs this past weekend, and more to come for next year, so stay tuned.
Awesome. And any final words of wisdom or information or anything you'd like to share?
Yes. Don't be afraid of self-help books, you guys. Don't be afraid of getting to know yourself. Don't be afraid to shine light on your shadows. And not every day is going to be graceful, but every day you should be trying. So I just want you to know that the universe totally has your back. And if you don't believe me, read that book by Gabrielle Bernstein, and you'll know exactly what I mean. And follow me at themommyjane.com or www.themommyjane.com. Follow me, and you can, stay conscious and enlightened and into cannabis, and meet my friends who are also conscious and enlightened and into cannabis. And it's this wonderful community of self-love and treating people the way you want to be treated, because ultimately we are the same person and it's all connected. So love one another.
Oh, thank you so much. Every time we talk, it always goes so fast.
Yeah, that was a fast hour. I'm blown away.
Yeah, I'm like, It went so fast. Last time when we did the Instagram live, even when we talked then, it went so fast. It's like we're in this like portal, like just talking, and it's like time doesn't
Yeah.
exist. We have so much we want to share. And I love connecting with you. And thank you so much for taking the time to come on the podcast today.
It was such an honor. I cannot even believe how appreciative. I mean, this whole experience is mind blowing to me. I really am thrilled to do this. I hope you can hear my smile through the speakers because I am smiling ear to ear.
Oh, I see it, I feel it, I hear it, I love it.
Thank you for considering me, you guys. Thank you for listening. Those of you that listened, I really appreciate it, and I love you guys.
All right, I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.
All right, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.